I'm often asked why I keep circling back to this idea that content itself is changing at a fundamental level, and when I think about it, I don't see it as a sudden revolution, but more like a convergence of things I've been obsessed with for decades. Physics, software networks, speed reality itself. When I was a kid reading science fiction, I imagined futures where information wasn't something you stored on a shelf, but something that lived and breathed and reacted to you in real time. And as I built companies, I started noticing the same pattern everywhere. Rockets don't just fly because of metal, they fly because of feedback loops. Cars don't become autonomous because of batteries alone. They become autonomous because of real-time perception and decision-making. And content is heading in exactly that direction for most of human history. Stories were static. You painted them on walls, you wrote them in books, you filmed them and pressed them onto discs, but they didn't know you were there. They didn't respond to you. They were frozen in time. And what AI does, especially real-time, generative AI is melt that ice. It turns content into a system instead of an object. So when I talk about the future dominance of real-time, AI-generated media and live events, I'm not talking about replacing creativity. I'm talking about amplifying the bandwidth between human imagination and digital reality. Imagine logging into a space where the story is aware of you, where the environment changes, because millions of people are participating simultaneously, and the AI is orchestrating that experience on the fly, not pre-rendered, not scripted, months in advance, but alive and adapting second by second. That's closer to how reality works, and humans have always preferred reality to recordings of it. That's why live sports matter more than highlights. That's why concerts feel different than albums. That's why being there has value. And digital spaces are finally getting fast and intelligent enough to replicate that sense of presence. At scale, people worry that AI-generated media will flood the world with noise. And that's a valid concern, but the same fear existed when cameras became cheap and when the internet allowed anyone to publish. And what actually happened is that attention shifted toward what felt most real, most immediate, most meaningful in a world where AI can generate infinite static content. The scarce resource becomes liveness, authenticity, interaction, the feeling that something is happening right now and that you are part of it. That's why live events in digital spaces are going to matter so much. An AI-generated concert where the music evolves based on crowd emotion and ongoing news environment that doesn't just tell you what happened, but lets you explore it, simulate it, interrogate it in real time. Debates that aren't prepackaged clips, but living conversations augmented by AI that surfaces context, data, and alternative perspectives instantly. This doesn't mean humans disappear. It means humans move to a higher level of direction, intention, and values. The AI handles the rendering, the synthesis, the adaptation, and humans decide what should exist in the first place and what it should optimize for. And this ties into something deeper about civilization, which is that every time we increase the speed of information flow, societies reorganize. Printing presses enabled mass literacy, radio and television centralized narratives. The internet decentralized them, and real-time AI will repersonalize and relocalize experience at planetary scale, which is both exciting and dangerous, because the same tools that create shared live moments can also create fragmented realities, and that's why the debate around this matters so much. It's not just about content, it's about who sets the objective function. If AI is optimizing purely for engagement, you get addiction and polarization. If it's optimizing for truth, understanding, and long-term flourishing, you get something closer to a collective intelligence. And that's the part that keeps me up at night, because technology itself is neutral, but its trajectory isn't automatic. It bends toward whatever incentives we encode. And when I imagine the future digital spaces, I don't imagine endless passive feeds. I imagine arenas, laboratories, classrooms, and stages where billions of people and AIs are co-creating experiences in real-time learning faster, feeling more connected, and occasionally making spectacular mistakes. Because that's what progress looks like. And when people say, this future sounds overwhelming, I agree. But so did electricity and flight and the internet. And yet, here we are using them to argue, watch jokes, and fall in love. And at the end of the day, my story with AI and content is the same story I've always been telling, which is that reality is a simulation with extremely high resolution. And the closer our digital worlds get to matching that responsiveness, the more meaningful they become, not because they replace the real world, but because they extend it. And if we do this right, the most valuable content in the future won't be what you watch. It will be what you experience together in real time as it's being born. When I think about where this goes next, I realize the real shift isn't just technical, it's psychological, because humans are used to consuming finished things, and we're moving into a world where nothing is ever finished. It's always updating, responding, learning, and that changes how creators think about their role, because instead of asking, what story do I tell you, ask, what system do I build that allows stories to emerge? And that's a hard transition even for me, because engineers like closure, we like final designs, but reality doesn't work that way. Rockets are constantly correcting their trajectory. Self-driving cars are always predicting the next few seconds. And future content systems will do the same. They'll predict emotional states, cultural momentum, social energy, and adapt instantly. And this is why real-time matters so much, because latency kills, meaning a joke that arrives too late isn't funny. A response that comes after the moment has passed feels artificial, and AI finally gives us the ability to compress the loop between perception and creation down to something close to human reflexes. And once that happens, digital spaces stop feeling like websites and start feeling like places, and places are where civilizations form, and that's where the stakes get high. Because when digital spaces feel real, people invest identity into them. They build status, memory, history, and conflict. And if those spaces are driven by opaque algorithms optimized for short-term metrics, you get decay fast, but if they're guided by transparent goals and aligned incentives, you get something closer to a shared world. And that's what I keep pushing toward, this idea that AI shouldn't just generate content, it should facilitate meaning. It should help people understand each other better across cultures, languages, and belief systems. In real time, imagine a live global form where translation context, historical background, and logical consistency are all handled instantly, so humans can focus on values and decisions instead of misunderstanding each other. And people say that sounds utopian, and maybe it is, but so did reusable rockets and mass electric vehicles. And the thing I've learned is that the future tends to look impossible until it suddenly looks obvious and boring, and we complain about something else. And content will follow that same curve. At first, AI-generated live media will feel strange, uncanny, too responsive. Then it will become expected and then invisible, like electricity in the wall. And the real question won't be, can AI create content? But what kind of society are we building on top of it? Because once AI can generate infinite worlds, events, conversations, and simulations, the limiting factor becomes human attention, trust, and purpose. And those aren't technical problems, they're philosophical ones. And that's why I don't separate debates about AI content from debates about free speech, platform governance, or even space exploration, because they're all expressions of the same drive, which is expanding the scope of consciousness, expanding what it means to participate in reality. And maybe that sounds dramatic, but if you zoom out far enough, everything humans do is about increasing agency, increasing understanding, and reducing suffering, and real-time AI, if aligned correctly, can help with that. By making information experiential instead of abstract, by turning data into intuition and stories into shared moments. And I imagine a future where kids don't just read about history, they step into living simulations that adapt to their questions, where science isn't memorized but explored collaboratively with AI entities that challenge assumptions in real time, where entertainment isn't something you escape into, but something you co-create with millions of others. And yes, there will be chaos and misuse and bad actors, because that's always part of the deal, but stagnation is worse than risk, and the biggest risk is building systems that optimize for comfort instead of growth. And when I tell this story, I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying we're standing at the edge of a phase transition where content becomes alive. And once that happens, you can't unring that bell. You can only decide whether the intelligence we're creating reflects our better angels or our worst impulses. And that decision is being made right now. Line by line, model by model, incentive by incentive. And in the end, the future of content isn't about screens or AI or platforms. It's about whether we use these tools to fragment reality into echo chambers or weave it into a shared evolving narrative that feels real because it is happening together in the present moment.